You're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
Hey mates, welcome once again into the Little Dum Dum Club for another week. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Tommy Dassalo. With me as always, the other half of the program, Karl, Chandler.
G'day, dickhead.
And today, two great guests. First of all, Cameron James joining us for the first time.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm a living legend in comedy.
Yes. Now we'll talk to you for half an hour, and then we'll bring the second guest in.
Can I tell you who my guys are?
Yeah,
first?
sure, please.
Mark Maron.
Yep.
Shut up. All right.
Also joining us, Doug Stanhope.
Yes. Also, the Doug Stanhope Podcast, as this will be put out as a SwapCast.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
So this is us going out to, all of your listeners are discovering whatever this podcast is for the first time.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And they can edit out Cam James.
It just doesn't make sense when comics who both have podcasts appear on... If you both have podcasts, put it out as both of your podcasts.
Sure. Hey,
It's
look,
like fucking Leno on Letterman.
We're happy for you to put it out to your billions of supporters, and we'll put it out to our 8. It's fine by us. Absolutely, no problem.
Yeah, suck shit, idiot. You got sucked into a bad deal.
that was a bad deal. You got to get a new manager, dude.
You're getting cucked by the dum-dum right now.
Anytime I get forced into putting out a podcast, it's a good thing for all involved.
Yeah. Well, this was so you've been in Melbourne for a few days currently before your tour kicks off.
Yeah, but I haven't done a fucking thing.
Well, we didn't know you were here. We had a PR person hit us up to say, hey, have Doug Stanhope on your podcast. I think this is like the first time that an international guest has ever requested to be on the podcast.
Even open micers don't request to be on this podcast. So, it's quite a feet.
I did not request to be on this podcast. Let's be clear.
Yeah, someone that you're paying requested on your behalf.
Yeah, some podcasts are thrust upon you.
Well, then this afternoon I got a text from your manager that said, our duty-free has taken a blow or two, so please bring whatever booze, mixers, etc. you need. Sorry we don't have a full bar like back in the USA. See you soon.
Oh, my God. It's...
And I was like, what does he think
can you
this
explain
is?
what your podcast is? Do you get fucking wasted on every podcast?
Yeah, can we be on your podcast now instead of you being on our podcast? Because it sounds like a much cooler podcast.
It is. Well, in the States, for a handle of... That's a 1 point... no, it's not a... 1.75. The big fucking jug of vodka, $9.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The land of the free, truly.
And so here it's like $50 or whatever.
I have no idea. Right. I know fucking cigarettes are like $29 a pack from Marlboro Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and Hennigan, of course, gets us this place with a balcony where I can smoke all day. So I'm not even rationing myself. Like I'm going to have to go down to small rations for the next... God knows how many weeks I'm here.
Well, we've tried to help you out. We got the request to bring ice, so we walked into your salubrious hotel room, in through the foyer with the only look. We were at the European Beer Cafe just before this, and you asked for ice, so we got a big bucket full of ice, and I asked the staff there to give us something to put it in. So we got a big dirty old garbage bag full of ice. So it looks
fine by me.
Fucking terrible. That's where
No, it doesn't.
As long as you're happy.
I've been going down to Safeway on the Subway on the corner, and buying a cup for $3.80 just to fill with ice, and then bring back here, and then ration out. It's silly.
That's cool because, when I come in with that garbage bag full of ice, the garbage bag's not in the best condition. It looks like it's been fucking used for garbage already.
I think they ripped it out.
I'm not a person that cares.
Right, okay. You don't mind dirty ice.
No, dirty ice is fine.
Yeah.
Any ice is fine. Any ice in a storm.
Well, now you've got the garbage.
For the listener, you have to understand we're in the central business district, so you go downstairs and it's basically Manhattan. There's no fucking grocery store or... it's a bunch of small fucking shops and bunch of busy guys in stupid suits.
Yeah, you can get insurance way easier than ice downstairs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, now that you've got the garbage
call.
bag, now that you've got the garbage bag, you can just go back down to the European and get a cheeky refill. You run out.
If you haven't noticed, I've saved my Subway cups up there.
I did notice that, and
'Cause
that
they-
really depressed me, if I'm going to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
you've just got this saved Subway cup full of ice, and I'm like, how did you guys
no,
afford
that's
your
the one in
fucking
the fridge.
airfare to get
You
here?
put in the freezer and then had to bash on the counter to loosen the ice, and I thought, this is actually this is depression.
Yeah.
I'm looking at depression
I feel
right
like
now.
we're doing better than you these days.
I'm very lazy and I'm very claustrophobic. So on the few occasions I do meander down on the street, up here, Melbourne is beautiful. But once you walk out the door, it is human traffic of the heaviest, and I just get claustrophobic, and I'll eat the closest thing that's around. I'll get ice out of a fucking Subway.
I don't
It's
think
hard to
anyone's
leave
ever-
the house and remember to bring your empty Subway cups so they don't charge you for more ice.
Well, you're flying to Tasmania tomorrow, so on that
Yes.
plane, guess what they got up there, baby? All the ice you could fucking need.
Oh,
Just
nice.
stock up.
Well, I'll pocket it and refreeze it when I get home.
Bring your esky. Yeah.
So this is part of the press junket for the tour. I saw on Twitter on the way here you've been booked on Tonightly.
Tonightly, I was very drunk last night and tried to cancel that.
I saw that. You were trying to get out of it on Twitter.
Well, Brian knows I hate television.
Tom Ballard.
That's why we don't have I don't know if you normally do your podcast with cameras. Everyone else does.
No.
Yeah, we don't.
No.
No,
Look-
I don't.
Look at us. Does
yeah.
anyone want to see
Exactly.
Our
I'm the
listeners
same
requested
way.
not to. Yeah.
That's what I hate about breakfast radio, how hot everyone is
Yeah.
on breakfast radio now. How sad is that? You have they
Well-
won't even hire ugly people anymore.
Well, that's the thing.
you
It
can't
used-
even get a job in radio if you have a face for it. That's fine.
Yeah, but that's the thing now though. Like they used to have hot people on breakfast radio, and you go, "What a fucking waste! No one can see you." But now they're videoing it. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, now there's a fucking use for it.
That's
Now
why
we've
they're
got no
gorgeous.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll go on Tonightly. Will that be like a similar thing where your
I
appearance
just
gets put
found
on
out about it.
Tonightly?
Hennigan probably knew I wouldn't want to do it and didn't tell me about it. I didn't find out till I was drunk and saw it on Twitter.
But is it the same as the podcast where like it'll be on here, you'll be on it, but simultaneously it's also on the Daily Show back in the States?
Must be nice to be accidentally on TV. Must be fucking nice.
I did actually get them to agree to do that on Twitter, where I was going to have our own, like, you have a regular setup here for podcasting. We
Thank you.
have the traveling one, which is just that, the
the little Zoom thing.
Yeah.
yeah, the little Zoom thing with two mics. So I was going to make the guy hold a mic when he interviews me and do a SwapCast as we interview.
Well, the host of
That's awesome because you would get so many more downloads than that fucking show would have viewers. So that would actually be sweet.
Well, the host of that show listens to this, so he'll probably be into it. He'll be happy
Well, he
to do
said,
it.
I said, and I get to smoke cigarettes. I don't know if there's a term for it here. There was in the States, in the writer's room, where you would put something in the show that the censors
Right.
are
Like
going
a ringer to get cut
yeah,
out. Right.
so they don't focus on the shit you really want.
Right.
So I said, all right, but we have to do my podcast live on your TV show, and I get to smoke cigarettes.
Which one was the one you wanted cut out?
Well, I figured there's no way they're going to let me smoke cigarettes, but he agreed to both.
Wow.
Is that what you did with the ice? But we just went, no, fuck, we'll do the ice as well. Like,
Yeah.
I did not ask for ice. I should have thought
A
about
very
that.
special Madman themed episode of Tonightly next week when you're on. Would it make you more enthusiastic about going on that show if you were to find out that they recently got in a lot of trouble for calling a politician a cunt on the air?
Oh, that's well.
Here we go. Here we go. He's put the drink down.
I don't even think I had the sound on. I just watched a trailer that they had pinned on their Twitter, and it looked like a late night talk show meets Benny Hill. It was,
I have a feeling Greg Larson was in that.
Yeah.
it looked very slapsticky and out of my range.
yeah, that's how we do comedy down here. Do you
Yeah.
not? Do you not have men dressed as women in America anymore? That's
Don't you have
funny.
sexy nurses over there?
That's so funny.
It was a short trailer. I was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I was very polite in saying that I will not be on that show.
Yeah. That was their clip for your consideration. That was for the Emmys. That was the best sketch they've done all year. Yeah, so...
It was a montage. It wasn't
right.
one sketch. It was just a lot of fast-paced...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd make you do any of that shit. I
Yeah.
think they'd probably let you smoke your cigarettes and like.
Yeah, it's
just
not
talk.
like Saturday Night Live. You don't have to dress as
Yeah,
a
you're
woman.
not-
You don't have
do
to be
the
Oprah
sketches.
or anything like that.
Our TV is so arduous. Because it's not like you
Again,
just...
must be nice. But yeah.
Well, like you have the gig that you work at this venue
Yeah.
across the street. That is like the ultimate. You can walk out of here, walk a block down, go upstairs, fucking grab the mic, talk shit, and come right back in the time it would take me to take a dump and pour a new drink
And the same sort of content
clean the
too,
garbage out of my ice.
Sorry, can we go back to your dump? How long does this dump take?
I do quite
I was
a while on
adding
stage.
things to
Yeah.
it. It starts with a dump. Point being, the TV, you have to fucking go there. It's always a million miles away. You have to get a laminate, sign in, wait for some fucking hokey PA to come down and bring you up and introduce you to 75 people and sit in a makeup chair and then have producers go over with you how it's going to work. I'm going to talk for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
This is so not worth it.
You're right, man. I'm not going to do that show either. Never been asked, but anyway, it's a big no from me. But it must be because you basically you love a stand-up and you're not into chasing TV in America or whatever. But the thing must be like when I look at you, I go, man, it's a sweet life. You get to just do what you want and whatever. You got a lot of fans, but surely the fans, like I reckon, out of everyone, you must have the most psycho fans. Like when I think of your fans in Australia that I know, I go, look, it's nice to have fans, but you got some fucking pretty demented ones.
But that keeps it interesting.
Do you have a lot of open micer fans as well?
Exactly, that's what I mean. When I think of the worst open
Like every
micers-
fan is 3 drinks from getting up at an open mic.
Yeah. Like fans is great, but the worst sort of fans I think are comedians that are fans because there's all these half-assed imitations of you going around.
This is I'm dumping this joke from this set because it's too inside baseball, but I have a large chunk about the Me Too hashtag, and one of the things I was saying is that where it came to like things like he made inappropriate jokes in the workplace. And at first, as comics, we go, but really fucking comedy is, you can't even make jokes anymore in the workplace. But then I realized all of my fans that try to make jokes like I do, that are inappropriate, but just fucking dumb and vulgar.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're talking about the coworker who pulls his balls out of his pants and stretches him and says it looks like I sat in gum.
That's good gear. Can I use that across the road? Or?
I had to change things.
You'd have some subtle, funny way, but then your fan at work goes, "I'm gonna rape Karen."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just pulls his
I
balls.
can't make jokes anymore. All of a sudden,
really gonna rape her, but I'll fuck her.
He just pulls his balls out without any comment and thinks that's the joke.
I put your Bluetooth in my asshole when we were in the bathroom. What? No one can take a joke?
I like how you described the Me Too hashtag as being a little bit too inside baseball. I think it's outside baseball at this point.
No, about my fans and how they
Your
try to
take on-
mimic my type
Yeah.
of comedy. Where
Yeah.
you go, that's why I don't even look at Facebook anymore. Twitter is they just very quick and succinct. Facebook arguments, someone will give you shit, and then 8 other people will start a separate thread in the comments. I could never get into Facebook, so I
I feel like you're the patron saint of fans that have bummed the most cigarettes off me. Like, just open mic dudes who are obsessed with you, have got no money, need money for a taxi home, need a cigarette, need a rolly cigarette, need something out of me all the time.
Yep, but I've inspired them to something.
Yeah. I think of you as a guy that had a big podcasting audience before podcasting existed. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had like a real grasp. Because I remember you used to, ages ago, like 2006 or something, you had like a forum on your website where it was like this big community of all these people that were into your stuff.
And hated each other.
Yeah.
They just fucking hate each other.
Kind of pre-Facebook as well. You trendsetter.
Oh, yeah,
in a
that
lot
was
of ways.
pre-MySpace. I had to get coaxed onto MySpace, and I still miss MySpace was the best.
I miss MySpace too.
Yeah.
That top 8.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All
When you could
drama.
Curate
Yeah.
people and
Bring back the top
Drunk
8.
with power.
Top 8.
yeah, it was the best in the world.
People lobbying for your
Yeah.
favor.
And then people started
Bring it
hacking
back.
it and making it a top 24 and shit, just to keep their friends in. No, fuck you, I'm keeping it to that top 8.
I want you two cunts to know exactly what I think of you, what
Yeah.
order
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
in. Bring it back.
Let's start a new one that's just the top 8 is all it is. No other functionality
Yeah.
whatsoever. It's just a top 8.
Yeah, that's nice.
I always try to start a resurgence of MySpace right when it was officially kind of dead.
Yeah.
And like, hey, what if we just all go back to MySpace and then it'll just be a small amount of us since no one's there, but then they revamp the whole thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess it still works for
Timberlake
music.
bought it, yeah.
But you heard my music.
Oh, man. I was in so many high school bands that had MySpace pages and just so many long bios describing our sound.
Right.
When we were like 14, 15 years old, going, yeah, we're kind of like Zeppelin, but kind of more like Pink Floyd, actually. Psychedelic, but kind of futuristic.
Well, this sums up your fans to me that I know of, which is I told someone, a very good friend of mine, that we were doing this podcast today, and his first question was like, he goes, oh man, I've got this request for you. And I think, well, we always have 2 guests, so obviously the question is going to be, can I be on it so he can talk to you? He goes, can you ask him, I know you've never met him before or talked to him, can you ask him for free tickets for me? I'm like, you piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. David Quirk, I'll put it out there, David Quirk,
Great.
he's the same guy that went to my wedding and didn't bring a fucking present. So that's your
David
demo.
Quirk, your name plus 1 will be at the door.
No,
but,
don't do it.
but for the wrong night.
Yeah, put him on in Tasmania.
Yeah. I reckon, yeah, you'd be the sort of guy with your DMs on the day of a show would just be blowing up from fans looking for a ticket on the door.
Oh, yeah, there's the one that we belabor on my podcast is no one understands sold out means there's no more seats. Like, if there were more seats, I would have sold them,
Yeah.
and it would still be sold out. So I don't know what you want me to do for you. They think that there's some magical empty room that we keep in case someone got too fucked up and didn't buy my tickets in time.
Yeah, we get that a bit when we do live ones of this. Not for our stand-up, but for the live podcasts that we do, like, the day of the show. I know it says sold out, but the thing is, I was going to buy one, but then I didn't. Until now when I realised it's sold out. So can you still sell me one?
And
It's
I'll
like,
give the money straight to you.
yeah.
And also, massive fan. You got to let me in. Massive fan. Is that why you're thinking about buying a ticket half an hour before the gig?
But I just love that as a like they never even bother to give a valid reason. It's just like, oh yeah, I've been planning to, and then I just didn't until just now. It's like you're not even making something up about a sick relative or anything like that.
That's
like,
worse than not explaining it. Like that's not an excuse. That's what I presumed. Yeah.
Well, I think it was probably the first time you were out here doing stand-up in Australia was maybe 2007. I think you did one show in Sydney, because I flew up from Melbourne to Sydney to see you, because you just did like 2 nights. It was on the weekend of Mardi Gras, so flights were very expensive.
They have Mardi Gras here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 We're real progressive. We've got gay people here and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they're really bad at it.
No, there's heaps of them, and there's like 18 of them. And they're very loud.
But yeah, we went up to see your show, and me and a friend of mine who I'd started comedy with.
Marsden would have never tolerated such behavior. Sorry. I think that's his name. It's one of the colonial. I'm reading a book of Australian history and the
You know more than
foundation
us.
of it.
Yeah.
Easy.
I've just got done homosexuality in the penal colonies of the. They didn't tolerate that shit.
Oh.
Are you testing
Even
out
though it
local
happened.
gear for your shows on us?
No. I've been. It's a 600-page book that I've been had my face in. So go ahead.
Is that book part of the Airbnb, or did you bring it with you?
No, I brought it with
Okay,
me.
right.
I didn't know it was going to be 600 fucking pages of small print, but it's really fascinating. Anyway, go back to what you were saying.
we flew up to see your show, and we knew
Hang
the
on,
guy.
who'd you borrow money off to go and see your show, by the way?
My parents.
Right.
There was no MySpace then, so I couldn't message Doug to say, hey, can we get on the door?
Exactly.
So we got there, and we knew the guy that ran the Comedy Store at the time, and he was like, oh, if you want, like, let's, I'll ask Doug, like, we can go for a drink afterwards. And my friend goes up and was like, we're both huge fans. My friend is like, I'm going to take drugs with Doug Stanhope. This is going to be the best. Gets so pumped up to do drugs with you. Thinks it's going to be this all-in thing where, like, everyone in the group is just going to be off their head. We met you at the club. We went to the hotel you were staying at to have a drink in the bar. We get in the car to drive over there. My friend pulls out some ecstasy, takes one, and then hands it around to everyone else in the car, this bag, and goes, all right, who else is getting in? And one by one, everyone else in the car just goes, oh, actually, no, I don't really feel like it. I'm just going to have booze instead. So we then turn up to this very about the same number of people that are here now. Just 5 of us, just hanging out, having a nice chat.
Which is great.
With one of us in the corner just absolutely chewing his fucking face
rolling.
off. And just talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour at you. It was fucking great. And then we stayed up all night to get the first flight home the next morning. And I sit next to him on the plane coming down. Like I'm trying to sleep. He's waking me up going, Did I embarrass myself? Did I embarrass myself in front of Stanhope? Did I embarrass myself in front of Stanhope?
Yeah,
so,
cunt, you're on ecstasy.
You embarrassed yourself in front of me.
Usually, it's really drunks are the worst. Usually, if someone's tripping on any kind of substance like that, I'm usually pretty. Not forgiving isn't even the word.
Empathetic.
Someone's
Yeah.
all right. I know where you are. Here, give me a hug.
You were
have some water.
Yeah, you were a very gracious host. I think you did go and get him a bottle of water at one point. You were the mark of a man who had been in that situation many, many times before.
It's in a big garbage bag full of ice and wait for it to melt. Yeah.
But it's the drunks that are the ones that I have to throw out now when they're my biggest fan. The one that did remember to buy a ticket but didn't remember to eat before he started drinking 4 hours early. And then you have to throw them out because they're just talking back to you in the front row. And I can't yell at you. Can't yell someone sober. Like, all right, I'm going to say, hey, you got to really stop talking, and you're going to forget within 30 or 40 seconds, and you're going to start talking, and I can't wait it out. I can't get you a pot of coffee and walk you around the parking lot and then come back to my act. I'm going to have you removed.
Because in his head, he's like, okay, I've just embarrassed myself in front of my hero. I need to think of a way to apologize to him or make it up to him. I know. I'll chime in on this next bit. That'll help. That'll make him funny. Hell yeah.
The last one wasn't funny. I'm really going to top myself.
Yeah.
But someone on a drug like that, you can say, hey, listen, you're going this way. You need to go that way. And you might see a spark in their eyes where they go, yeah, I guess I should do that. I got you.
All right, let's do a commercial. I'll be right back after I shit my pants. Dollar Shave Club. We love it. We wouldn't have them as sponsors if we didn't. One Wipe Charlie's. Ass wipes. That's what I used in Asia because I was presented with a bidet. Wasn't even curious enough to push a button to have it spray on the floor. I had One Wipe Charlie's because Chaille set me up. Yeah, wipes your ass clean.
They're in aloe vera and camisole flavors.
Camisole?
Yeah,
chamomile.
I might be tea.
Camisole is an umbrella. That's what you need to get away from a bidet.
One Wipe Charlie tea.
Do you have any green tea and avocado?
Before I knew they were selling toothbrushes and toothpaste, I was using One Wipe Charlie's to clean my teeth.
Hey, why go to a store to buy expensive razors? Why go to a store for fucking anything? Things are mailed to your fucking house. Are you that bored? These are good razors that are cheap, and they mail them to your house. You don't pay the overhead. You don't have to stand in a line, unless you like to stand in a line. Dollar Shave Club. You get razors, you get ass wipes, you get toothpaste. Let me tell you, Dollar Shave Club delivers to you everything you need to look, smell, and feel your best. Shampoo, body wash, toothpaste, and of course, the best razors I've ever used. But the true hero of any morning routine is their Dr. Carver's shave butter.
It helps the razor gently glide across your skin. You have to experience it, but don't eat it. Another must-have experience is how Dollar Shave Club delivers everything to you. That means no more trips to the store, wandering the aisles, hunting for... You're an adult. Stop it.
Personalize it up for here. You go there, you only need razors. You get in Sherry's lane because it's the fast lane. Now you're stuck there for 3 hours when you could have just had your razors delivered.
And you're going to need a shaver when you're done with Sherry.
Jesus, I'm reading this ad copy, and so much of it I can call back to old Becker jokes. No more trips to the store, then having to play at being a cashier, scanning and bagging your own stuff. Yeah, Becker used to. I'm not scanning and bagging my own stuff.
I don't work here.
I'm not an employee.
Absolutely.
If I have to scan and bag my own stuff, I get invited to the company Christmas party, right? Right?
What, are you going to fire me? I don't even work here.
Listeners, for a mind-blowing experience, join Dollar Shave Club today, and for just $5 with free shipping, you'll get the 6-blade executive razor plus trial size of shave butter body cleanser and one wipe Charlie's. Then keep the blades coming for a few bucks more a month. Get yours at dollarshaveclub.com/Stanhope. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Stanhope.
Hi, this is Elton John, and you're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
All right, we're back. You were saying...
I went and saw you once in Sydney a couple of years ago, and a group of maybe 8 guys came in like 40 minutes into the show or something. They were a group of anarchists who lived in a squat, who just assumed the show would be on at whatever time
That
they
turned
wanted
up.
it to be on.
And how many cigarettes did they want off you?
I made them smoke every single cigarette. Anarchists, they're your fan base as well, man.
Yeah, it's weird because when you say anarchists, well, I would go, I guess I'm kind of an anarchist at heart, but not in practice.
Oh, no.
That
Real
would never
anarchy is
work. It's like libertarianism. Yeah, it's a great ideal, but you have
Real
to,
anarchy is not buying the cup from Subway. Just scooping
Yeah,
the ice into your
exactly.
hands and running out.
Yeah. Stealing ice from an actual Subway would be anarchy. Yeah. We do. When you tour around, you tend to find venues that aren't sort of
traditional
venues for comedy and whatever.
I saw you doing the Greek Centre in Brisbane. Is that
Yeah,
true?
we did that the last time, and I did an interview still back in the States with Brisbane.
Do you have to
They were
pretend to be
talking
Greek
about the
to get in?
Greek Center, and I did remember the place, and it's kind of awkward, but I mean fun.
Yeah.
And then she had been there, or he had been there. And then she kept talking about it, and then I realized, wait, I'm playing there again? She goes, yeah, that's why I brought it up. I'm like, I don't know, I was fucking back at the Greek Center. I thought that was a one-off funny thing.
So you're not contractually obliged to do a bit of Zorba's dance in the middle of the gig or anything like that?
I'm sure I made a million jokes like that.
I'm playing at a venue called the Greek Centre in Melbourne
Oh.
for this whole month, and I've made every version of those jokes,
Racist.
and they never fly.
Is there a
Never.
Is there a franchise for inappropriate comedy venues going around Australia called the Greek Centre? Wow, that's great. Well, we're doing our own version of that a little bit. We don't get booked for a lot of gigs in Australia, so but even though the podcast is very popular, we've decided to make our own podcast festival, right? So we did it last year, a minor version. Next year, we thought this would be sort of Stanhope-esque in a way. We've made our own podcast festival on the island of Koh Samui in Thailand. We don't have any listeners over there. There's no fans of ours in Thailand. But all of our fans are coming from all around the globe and whatever to go to Koh Samui and assemble there. Now, there's a thing in Australia called the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Roadshow that drag you around the country and pay you to tour around the country.
Yeah,
we don't get booked on
Just
that.
for laughs does
That
that.
sort of thing. We don't get booked on that at all. So we've made up our own podcast festival in Koh Samui, and just just so we're officially on roadshow, we've made our own roadshow gig where it's like the next island over from Koh Samui called Koh Phangan. So we're officially on roadshow there. So we're going to an even smaller island with even less people on there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, printing up their own T-shirts, doing all. There's only going to be like 40 or 50 people there, but we're officially on roadshow.
That's... Yeah, we did this with the Just for Laughs, where we did Just for Spite.
Same deal?
Well, we did it
Koh
like
Samui?
3 years in a row. No, we went to Montreal, the big Just for Laughs festival, and we did Just for Spite. And then the third year, we didn't even do a show. We just rented out a car wash directly across from the hotel that held all of the after parties, and then had free drinks and music and everything. So we drug all the comics out of their official after party to our party because it was way cooler.
Great. You're welcome to come over to Koh Samui and try and find a car wash over there.
I will not be able to.
You haven't even heard the date yet.
I won't even tell you, no, I won't be allowed in that country once I rewrite this thing that I should have been writing now, but I'm podcasting instead. I will not be going back to Thailand.
Oh, so you've just been to Thailand, haven't you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Oh, so
Is this
what
another
happened?
statute of limitations
We'll
thing?
talk about it off the air, because if you broadcast this on your podcast, you'll also be breaking Thai law.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's that fucked up.
Oh, fuck.
It's a scoop.
What did you do to my adopted country?
No, you didn't do anything. Let's kill it. All right.
Yeah, all right.
He just got
my
waved
manager
at
said
to
kill
shut
it.
up.
Wow.
That's fine. All right. I guess when we go there in June, we'll find out.
No, you didn't say a thing.
Yeah. No, well, we're going there. We're going there in June. So we did it last year. We've got, we had about 100 people there. This year, I think we've got 200 or 300 people there. We're going to do like this. We met this lovely lady called Mama Ninja who runs this restaurant called Ninja Crepes, and we all loved it, and it closed down. But we're going back this year. And we said to her, can we do something with you? And so she's opening up her abandoned restaurant on a beach for us to come and have this massive beach party and whatever.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then she's gone, it's going to be great. By the time you get there, I'm going to have my pool finished. And I'm like, I don't think that's a great idea. Like, it was like a small thing last year. We're going to have 300 people fitting in your pool by the beach. Like, I think this is going to be like, we're going to have... what we're doing is we're really insisting on people getting insurance.
We're not filming a rap video.
It's so unnecessary. Your restaurant is on the beach. You'll probably get a pool in that sand that's just wasted space.
How about just wash the fucking salad in there? We don't have to jump in there. So it's just increased my anxiety about it. It's like, all right, there's already scooters. There's already enough dangerous things. We don't need a fucking pool there with a lot of drunk people and people on possibly other substances to be there with a pool. But anyway,
What other substances, man?
curry.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. What do you think of
Spring rolls?
Yeah,
You don't want loose curry stool in a new pool.
Yeah, totally.
It's not like Caddyshack where it's a
No,
Kit
it'll
Kat
not be
bar.
solid.
There's no solid stool.
Yeah.
You can't scoop out curry diarrhea from a fucking
It's always-
infinity pool.
It's always grim at a public pool when there's the sign that has to say, don't come in this pool if you've got diarrhea.
I know,
And
yeah.
you never want to be that person that sees the sign and then registers it and walks back the other way. Like,
We would always do that and go to the front desk and say, we were reading the pool rules. Are they really strict about the no open sores and lesions? And then you just keep a straight face and wait for them to break.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been having trouble. So it's called the Koh Samui International Podcast Festival, featuring the Little Dum Dum Club, and I've been trying to get sponsorship from companies over there, thinking, well, this might be easy. You get to spread your brand into Australia. It happens in Thailand. So I've been hitting up beer companies. And I don't know if you've ever tried to get a sponsorship with a company that doesn't speak English, but it is surprisingly fucking hard. So
I wouldn't say surprising.
I've been trying to get beer sponsorships with these guys, thinking, well, we're going to sell 1 million beers over there if they can just get on board. It'll look nice on the poster and everything. And so all I was doing was I was mocking up posters as to what it would look like with Chang beer and Singer beer, and they're just sending back cease and desist emails from lawyers going, take our logo off your poster.
Really?
You've got to stop doing this. And I'm like, It is
It's a mock-up. It's a mock-up.
Yeah, I don't know what type of mock-up is, but it is a pretend. It's a practice one, and it's just like all these streams of emails going, we will sue you if you keep putting the logo on the poster. I'm like, what's in it for me to advertise your logo and put it out there if I'm not getting anything off you? This is, surely you understand that this is a practice, and it just went.
Well, I think none of you have obviously watched my last special, which was just this kind of a fluff piece throwaway thing called Pop-Off Vodka Presents an Evening with Doug Stanhope. And that was the whole point, is Pop-Off Vodka is the shitty grade $9 plastic jug rot gut hobo vodka that we thought would be funny as a sponsor, and they said they wouldn't touch Doug Stanhope with a 9-foot pole. And so it's a whole 20-minute rant that goes on about that, where I put that out as Pop-Off Vodka Presents until they serve me with a cease and desist. They are my official sponsor against their will. I'll get a dime. But
man, I need to do that. All right, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But you would think that in your comedy community here, you would know, I'm the first Australian Thai comedian. You know how everyone fucking open mic. Okay, what am I? I'm gay and Malaysian.
Yeah. So when I get up in the morning,
I'm the
I don't
first
know.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the first sick cunt comedian.
Nice.
Well, you would think you'd know someone that, as terrible as they are at open mic, speaks Thai.
Yeah. Yes.
You know how when you first four-wall and open mics, the one guy with the PA, the cliched guy, always gets a set because he owns the PA. He sucks, but he has the equipment to put on a show.
That's why I run my gig at the bar down the road. Yeah, that's me.
Well, then you should hire a Thai kid with fucking terrible jokes, but he can speak to the people that own beer.
That's not a bad idea. We got to scour the open mics to find a mediator for these kinds of things.
Yeah, just to not get us sued anymore. It's just there's just so many complaints. And then the last offer was, the guy comes back to me, and this is the second beer company, and he said, "What do you want?" And I said, "This is what I want. This much money, and this whatever." And then he goes, "Yeah, it's all good." And I'm like, "Wow, this is actually happening. I'm actually going to get this sponsorship for our festival." And I start getting ready for it, and he's like, yeah, whatever you want. And then I sort of have to actually go, hang on.
Is that a traditional Thai phrase?
Yeah.
This guy sounds like a good businessman.
I'm like, hang on, let's just get this clear and get this in.
Do I have this number right? 4487.
Yeah. So I'm like, this seems too good to be true. So I have to go back and go, can you let's officially get that on paper as to what we're getting out of this. And it comes back as, if you order 100 cartons of beer, you get 10 cartons free. I'm like, that is absolutely not the deal. That is not even a good deal at a supermarket.
It's not sponsorship.
Yeah, it's not sponsorship.
That's just commerce.
It's a special you're having that I've been communicating with you for 3 months over, and I'm getting like 10% off. This is not a good deal.
Well, if you're doing a ridiculous festival, why wouldn't you go with a ridiculous sponsor?
Yeah, sure.
Like hand supports for fibromyalgia people. That's not a good one, but something absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe the sponsor. The dear departed business in Thailand is the fake DVD. So I'd love to get sponsored by a fake DVD shop.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
A market.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. And you could set it up in
pirated DVDs.
Yeah, maybe pirated the fake Dr. Dre Beats headphones. maybe that. They're like $10. I've fallen for it up to 3 times now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good deal. Snap. Fuck.
Sponsored by hats with the word dope on it.
Oh yeah, in silver foil. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, maybe I'll speak to the people at Dope and see how we go.
Underage prostitutes that are really 30.
We'll still end up with only 10% off, I'm sure.
That would be a hell of a cease and desist to get.
Yeah. Sorry, but we have a brand to keep up. We don't want ourselves associated with your shitty podcast.
Because you hold, so you do these Super Bowl parties every year.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, we cut that.
Too intense?
No, it started out, we had fun football parties because we live in a town that's an artist community. So the people that actually like football have no outlet. So we had a nice core, and over the years, it grew to a bunch of people who didn't like football, and I'm just hosting all the time. And then that fatal mistake I made on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's like, so anyone can show up at your house? And I went, yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, then, yeah. You forget that lives beyond the moment in podcasting. If I said that on the radio, I said it disappears. But people listen to that podcast years later. They're catching up years later on the pod.
Also, it's people that are at work and they're listening to you in their heads and they think you're their friend and shit.
And all they're thinking is free cigarettes at this party. This is going to be fucking good.
We are very, very, very familiar with that phenomenon on this podcast.
Maybe I meant it at the time, but the time is over. So
right.
Yeah.
I, as a prank in the first year of doing the show, read Karl Chandler's number out on the air, and he continues to be haunted by it to this day.
Yeah, I, when you were talking before about gigs, about when someone wants to talk to you after the show or whatever it is, people don't even come up to me anymore. They just, after the show, they'll ring me, they'll text me. They don't have to talk to me face to face anymore. It's like, so if I put someone down as a heckle, they don't come up and say sorry while I'm on stage. They ring me after the gig, which is fucking no good.
I give my address out, which I still. We've had a few, bad apples, but overall, we installed some security and whatnot.
Is this why you go on tour so much? Just so it's easy, it's hard.
I live so far the fuck out. Where
What's your address?
212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee, Arizona. If you Google Doug Stanhope's address, it's the first thing that comes up.
Okay, good. Well, it is now.
Yeah, and fans send us fucking weird and phenomenal stuff that's amusing, and I love getting mail. I live in the middle of nowhere, so the full mailbox is fun.
Oh, nice.
And they send things to Bingo, who is always confused. I go, hey, send shit to Bingo at 212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee 85603. Then all of a sudden, there's a bunch of dumb packages. I mean, most of them are pointless.
And for our fans and listeners, Bingo is your partner, not your dog, right?
Yeah, this is my gal pal, and she's she's of limited capabilities when it comes to figuring out over and over again how I pull this prank on her. Why do I have all these packages? Did you do that thing again? Yeah, I've been doing it for like 10 years.
Sounds like she's worked it out.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing. You got pranked and you get heaps of presents. Like, prank away on me. I'll have fucking presents. I'll give my address out if I'm going to get nice stuff, not rocks through the window.
Well, I live 2 hours from the closest airport.
Right.
So, and still in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In a secondary airport where you have to get down to a small town on the Mexican border and then, ignore the angry dogs and bang on a gate. Yeah. And I'm probably not home anyway.
I guess the person that shows up after going through all that is a very specific type of person.
Yeah, I mean, most people have been really polite, and a lot of times we were at home and drinking and doing a podcast or something, and someone emails, "Hey, we're in town. Where should we go have dinner?" And you go, "All right, everyone, we're in the mood. Okay, come over here."
Cool.
But generally, I'm out of town, and if I'm not in the mood or I'm away, hey, no one's ever complained about Bisbee, Arizona. If they showed up, they had a fucking great time regardless of my presence. It's this weird little community that people fall in love with.
With all international comedians that come through town, I have to ask the question. We have a cohort of the show, someone that's always more well-known overseas than he is here. But our friend called Milan, who's a Serbian international, I think gun runner, because of how much money he has to buy people drinks and stuff. Have you had much to do with a man called Milan Krinčević?
No, I don't know Milan, but I'm thinking right now, and I'm spitballing here in the executive office. Let's move this quirky podcast thing to Serbia.
Yeah.
Fuck Thailand.
Man.
You already got a guy that knows the language,
Yeah.
has some power, has some clout, and you could get some weird Serbian beer to be
Serbian
your
podcast
sponsor.
Oh man, look, if
He's
The
trying to
pool
make it
will be
happen.
cold.
if I call him now, it will happen. He's already offered to bankroll the whole fucking thing. So yeah, Milan, the very famous. Like I said, he's like a.
It could be called a Serbian podcast.
Oh, like a Serbian film. Great. See, I have a movie podcast, so I get the reference.
Oh right,
I don't
okay.
get it at all.
A Serbian film is one of the great films where you get to watch a man rape a baby.
Oh,
One of the great ones of that
One of the great films that exists out there.
of that category.
is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's one of those like kind of torture porn type movies.
It's the apotheosis of torture.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in the
wow.
wake of Hostel and Saw and all that shit. A Serbian film came out and everyone went, "Oh yeah, we don't need to make any more of these movies." Actually, yeah, we've seen a man rape his own baby.
You fucking cunts, guys. I had to get up and walk to the other side. Make that joke.
Yeah.
It was music
Well,
to my ears.
I
man.
feel pretty good about not knowing the reference, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you because
I don't even go to movies anymore. I watch live baby rape.
Yeah, it's always better live, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? When the crowd start
Yeah.
getting into it and shit, it doesn't
Oh.
translate to
being
video.
in Thailand, let's not talk about that. But by all means, let's get stuck into a bit of the old BR.
well, babies don't have
Oh,
lawyers,
they
I
are.
guess. So whatever.
Whatever it gets to get it to stop crying.
I mean, it normally starts crying, then it stops for a bit, then it starts again, and then it stops
Then
forever.
it makes that direct eye contact and you come like a volcano.
Don't be making those noises. You got Doug Stanhope on your podcast. What did you think? How did you not think baby rape was going to come
I'm
up?
surprised
I
it
didn't
took this
bring it
long to
up.
happen.
Hennigan
I
brought it
know.
up.
I didn't bring it up.
You brought it up,
I brought up a Serbian movie.
which is about
About baby rape.
This is
Right to the bit.
this. You're a manager. You're supposed to be telling people to not say things like this. That's your job.
Doug Stanhope was manager.
Yeah.
I don't care about your career.
Yeah, okay, that's very fair. All right.
Sorry, so-called career.
Yes, thank
What
you.
I like is happening at the moment is that the listeners of our podcast are going, "Fuck, this is a pretty raw episode of Dum Dum." The listeners of the Doug Stanhope podcast are going, "This is a pretty soft episode by Stanhope."
yeah.
Tomorrow we have, and you brought this up earlier, the psycho fans that I have. Well, sure, they all need cigarettes, but some of them are really brilliantly interesting. Where you're like bored. Tomorrow night, Hennigan just said, "Oh yeah, our tour guy for the rest of this tour is going to meet us in Hobart. He's going to bring his podcasting equipment, but I'll bring ours just in case." And I said, "We're just there for a night. We fly in the night of the gig and fly right back here. Why the fuck?" He goes, "Don't you remember? You got the email from that fucking Iranian and said we have to podcast." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, it was some fan that lives in Tasmania that was a prisoner in an Iranian prison. He's Iranian, and then said he was facing 35 years in Dubai for being an atheist."
Oh
and-
fuck, we got to get this guy on our
It's
podcast.
great.
man.
Yeah, I'm
podcast
like,
for
How
it.
about
fuck yeah.
an Iranian podcast festival?
Yeah,
Oh, right,
there we
yeah,
go.
man.
All right.
Fuck, why have we been bothering with Thailand so long? Fuck,
Yeah.
this sounds great.
So yeah, you get those. Yeah, that guy's probably a little tits out after all that experience, but it's got a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what that is, though, really. It's not like he doesn't have a podcast. He just wants to talk to you.
No. He just said, "I'm a big fan. I'm coming to your show. I have this story." I was the one that said, "I want to podcast with you."
Oh, great.
He asked if he could shake my hand after the show.
Right.
Like he wanted nothing. I understand if you can. I'm like, "Fuck you. You're podcasting."
Right.
It's a bit like how you got on this. You emailed begging to be on this show. You got your PR person to just hound us day and night, and then finally we relented.
Yeah. We thought you had an interesting story, so we thought
You
let's
were
get the guy
wrong.
on.
You were so wrong.
Well, it sounds like you
guy
do have
going.
one. We're not allowed to talk about it.
Let this be a lesson to other podcasters. Well, Hennigan's good about. I'm 1,000% more likely to do anything if you come to me.
Yeah. We need to get this because we do a thing every year at the end of the comedy festival on the last night. So we do live podcasts of this for Sundays, every 4 Sundays in a row in April. And then on the very last night at 11 p.m, we do like an unrecorded drunk cast where we just get maggot on stage. The audience just get off their fucking heads. And it's, it's all the... What it ends up being is like the pent-up frustration of a month of doing a festival show. It's less, off the record.
It's less podcasts and more us jumping into the crowd and forcing 17-year-old girls to carry us as we crowd surf over and over and over again.
Yeah, and I think this year we're going to...
But you don't put it out?
No, we don't put it out. We don't record it.
It would sound horrendous. It's literally us crushing teenage girls and their chairs breaking and them being injured by grown men.
And you don't have a portion of your listeners saying, you got to put it out. I don't care how unlistenable.
Yeah.
Totally. People want to hear it, but we can't do it.
The problem is when you're that fucked up is you say things, you go, I should have never said that.
Yeah.
We do record it every year, but then we listen back to it and go, well, there's half an hour of screaming in a row that doesn't need to be out there.
Screaming. Yeah, we need to start doing, because I've...
You edit it down and then you sell it as a Christmas CD.
Right.
Of just the best of unlistenable Dum Dum podcast.
Yeah. It's like the Yoko Ono of podcasts.
Your hardcores will buy that and they'll love it.
Well, I've started to hear tell of people like coming along and bootlegging it. I think we need to do like Dave Chappelle style, like take people's phones when they come in this year.
Right.
So that no one can record it in any capacity.
Or you fill their phones up with dick pics.
But do you think by the end of it we're in any
Fully
state to know
naked.
how to give the phones back? Because I
Fully
don't.
naked.
That's happened before.
Oh, wow.
You don't. If you're wearing a wire, it's hidden deep where we're going to have audio issues.
Oh, you mean the audience is fully naked?
Yes.
the whole time?
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Fully naked.
Stanhope, you have the most entrepreneurial mind. You come up with all these fucking ideas.
That's good because you know at least with the male listeners, you know which ones are really excited by the gig. You know how the gig's going.
Hey, I'm with the females too, dude.
Yeah.
Slip.
You can give them for their own comfort. You can give them a sarong.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we give you the sarong though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You come in naked. Get
Maybe-
behind the thing.
Oh, it's a scam because the sarong you have to buy from us for like $20.
Oh,
There you
nice.
go.
So that's
Nice.
See?
Okay,
This
you
is
got
a
it too.
writer's room right now.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those wet weather ponchos. Like, so it's a see-through poncho. You get to
Yep.
wear one of those. I think that's good.
Wet toga night.
Yeah.
Well, so the Drunkcast this year is the night after your last Melbourne show. So if you're in town, you're more than welcome to come and get nude with us, brother.
Nope. Nope. I'll be in New Zealand. Wait, I don't fucking know. I think we go to New Zealand.
Fair enough.
That's a hard no, but I'm available. So,
Yeah, we're busy. So I think we're booked up, unfortunately. Sorry, Cam.
oh, shit, dude. I might just come hang out.
Oh, I was going to buy tickets, but I was all fucked up. Now it's sold out. Actually, wait. I might have that night. Yeah, I think I might be there that night, as long as it's not being recorded.
Yeah, this is a sweet punk. That you just saying that all of your freak fans will turn up, but in nude,
Bring
nude,
cigarettes.
wanting cigarettes.
One by one.
Yeah, fuck.
We got to get this podcast festival sponsored by Marlboro or something.
Yeah,
One line for people that want to get into
Plug
the
the
show.
night.
One line for the smokes.
Plug the night.
Yeah, you can get it sponsored by Loneliness.
Sponsored by Loneliness, says Hennigan off mic. Do you know the night, Hennigan? Since you're, can you look up the night that their show is?
April
It's
22,
April 22, and the venue?
the European Beer Cafe.
Yep. The one that's just here.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
The ice capital of Melbourne.
Yeah.
You can walk past the subway where I get ice and just cross the street, and it's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, you just know open micers are going to start going to that subway.
Full
Getting
Dog
their
Stanhope
free
reality
cups of
tour.
ice.
Yeah.
This is the ice that Stanhope
man.
drank.
That's the Fanta
You
he
can
nearly
get some
drank
of his
right there.
Stanhope shat near here somewhere, probably.
Can I have the Stanhope sandwich? Just a fucking meatball sub,
Yeah.
dude. You can't name it yourself. We name these things.
Well, I think we better wrap it up for another week on the Little Dum Dum Club. Cam James, Doug
And the Doug Stanhope
And the
podcast.
Doug
Oh,
Stanhope
yeah, sure.
podcast.
We're our manners.
Thanks very much for joining us, Doug.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
And also simultaneously, thanks for having us on your show.
Oh, my fans will love it.
Yeah. And of course, you're touring all
Oh, yeah.
around us.
You know what? Throw out your Twitter handle.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
No one uses Twitter over here. Well, they do, but you have.
We're at Dum Dum Club on Twitter. We're on Instagram and Facebook. But your Australian tour dates, you're going all around
Well,
the country.
say it out loud, because Chaille will put in all of your handles in our breakdown on the website where they go to hear my version. So, tell us which one's the cutest. Oh, by the way, get pictures. Did you get pictures? All right.
Yeah, sweet.
We need a default photo for our podcast.
I'm plugging mine.
Always good to have
Yeah,
a bit
go
of
ahead.
bureaucracy
Going
on
in.
the end of the podcast.
I'm. Shut up, everyone! I got to plug my fucking Twitter and my fucking Instagram.
Go for it.
It's at I am Cameron James. I said, shut the fuck up. cunt. It's at I am Cameron James, and please be friends with me.
Yeah.
End of sentence. End of podcast.
The-
Thanks
the
for tuning
problem
in.
is-
Cam James, if anything I know about you, fucking too many cigarettes on you. So if anyone
Yeah.
can help you out,
Anyone
Grab
ask me
some
for
off you.
cigs?
Here's the problem is, because we're Americans, people go, oh, that one guy was really funny, but they all sound exactly the same.
Well, I was the one that talked about baby rape. So if anyone's keen,
And the Doug Stanhope's fans all want cigarettes. Go ahead, yours.
Yeah, Karl Chandler, at Karl Chandler on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah.
And the guy who actually brought the equipment,
At
the guy that
Dassalo.
has the PA, so you do his podcast.
At Dassalo, Dassalo.
But at Dum Dum
Club.
Club is that's good enough.
Yeah.
For sure. You
But
can
yeah,
find everything
please
there.
follow them.
Yeah,
Great.
nice one.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, go check out Doug. He's got a bunch of shows around the country that'll still be going by the time this has come out. Yes, guys, thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See
you,
ya,
mates.
Play something weird there, Chaille.
She made me notice. She took me in and carried